In 1975, French jazz rock band Transit Express released their first of 3 albums on RCA Victor, titled Priglacit, and from it, the title suite. Gall. Kind of a 12-string harmonic element right there. Yeah, 2 guitars playing kind of in unison. Well, one in this speaker, one in that speaker, one playing like firsts, one playing thirds. It's that is a guitarist Christian Leroux double tracking, apparently. Yeah. Ovation. Okay, and those Fenders that you were hearing, that is keyboardist Serge Perathoner. Very beautiful, subdued, sedate. Although, since we're only like about 90 seconds in, and we've gone through 3 sections already, I kind of get the feeling, and it'll come back, but you kind of get the feeling like that big kind of like explosive section could have like gone a bit further, higher, could have. There's that melody again. Now, talk about taking a melody and casting it into completely opposite arrangements. Basically like an overture for like an instrumental suite. Well, some great playing from all involved, but I think the guy who is really slaying me in this piece is drummer Dominique Bouvier. Drousia I. I like that phasing on the drums. Hear that spacey, smoky sound, echo. Okay, I love the jerky propulsiveness, just throwing things around between these odd like landing keys. We went from like G minor to like B to like D minor, something like that. Hear that like wah wah sound here and there. The feel is somewhat the title track on "Upon the Wings of Music" by Jean-Luc Ponty. Except this is somewhat more like abrupt, more bit of a rhythmic crudeness going on here. And you know, 2 albums later, this band would be joined by an American violinist, David Rose, and would sound and thus inviting comparisons with French expat Jean-Luc Ponty. To think that America and France traded violinists. Okay, another comparison could be made to like No Mystery period, Return to Forever, the period where they were like really funky and using lots of these like odd meters and sounds and stuff. Okay, I'm thinking more like in the rhythmic element and feel, not so much the actual sounds. There's really nothing in the keyboards that reminds me of Korea, really, or the instrumentalists. It's not really the sound so much as just the feel. They went from like G 7 minor to B rather than B flat, I believe. Yeah. And then to D. That's strange. Yeah, it's usually the other way around, because like a G minor is the relative minor of B flat, and B minor is the relative minor of D, but they reversing things or going like half a step higher than you may expect, by going from G minor to B to D minor. Those sounds, kind of wad, and then the diamond-y keyboards. Yeah, this has got all the magic of 1975 is there. I love how the drumming is just kind of like panning from side to side. I'm getting like this full spectrum of drumming, and it's also really clean at the same time. The tonal clarity of between each of the instruments is just immaculate for a French recording from 1975. I guess it's different than a lot of European recordings from the era, is that it doesn't quite have that kaleidoscopic, almost kind of post-psych hangover feel. That was quite common in France at the time. Like, go check out some of the things I covered a few months ago on this channel, like from France, also, like I love those little keyboard sounds, those like. we got that kind of like wah wah guitar, funky guitar. We got those several different keyboard sounds. We got those wah wah like those, and I should say that now we're in part 4. We're in Contrat Session. Yeah, the two parts of very brief parts of Drousia have passed us by. These words are not really. These titles aren't in French. Funny enough, the
Пригласить.
yeah that's Russian for to invite. That was the overture, and Drousia Drousia or seems to be, well, I brought that up. It seems to be a place in Greece, although that might, if I, it defaults to spellings. Nah, all I get is I. It's a French band using titles from a third language. I like that sound right there. Yeah. I guess basically the drumming, the drummer is still the dominant force here, followed closely by the keyboardist. I haven't introduced the bassist, Jean-Claude Guselli, giving us some serviceable support behind it all. You can hear his tones at times, rather clean. Yeah. Let's see. All the members in this band had been part of Orpheon. And I guess that was their prior, and they had backed up one Joan Pau Verdier, a chanson vocalist, I assume, and two of these guys, guitarist Bazil Leroux and the drummer guy once again, Dominique Bouvier. Yeah, they actually hold on. Okay, that sound was quite unique. The the keyboardist and guitarist, yeah, the keyboardist Serge Perathoner. They were both in the art pop band Blue Rose with David Rose, and they put out kind of like an '80s minor classic album that got some airplay on early MTV with one of its songs. Now that is a sound I don't quite know how to. I don't think I've heard anything else like it. That you know which one I'm referring to. Maybe it was like kind of like some strange setting on a Fender that made it sound like it was being played underwater or something. Okay, the bass I would say is really giving us a lot of speed, a lot of filigree, a lot of is quite instrumental in the overall like hectic feel of this. They were all just playing off each other right there, just drastically. And yet still it sounded really clean at the same time. It didn't quite have that hazy kind of hurricane, or it just didn't have the kind of kaleidoscopic feel of a lot of a lot of records from this period that just had so much density to them. It's so something about this was still quite lean, quite yeah. It's like you could take apart one layer and it would be a whole lot quieter. You could take apart another and yeah. Anyway, that was a Contrat Session. Well, basically, I'll list them in order. Priglacit, Drousia I and II, and Contrat Session. Uh, a four-part instrumental suite from side one of the self-titled debut album by Transit Express, released in 1975. Their first of three albums over a 3-year period. Yeah, followed by Opus Progressive and Couleurs Naturels. The last of those featuring David Rose, yeah, American. Not many Americans ended up on the French music scene or even knew about it back in the day, but yeah, lucky David Rose to actually be there and soak up some of that atmosphere while it was going on. So much of my favorite music of the 1970s comes from France. They just kind of had a way of combining just the best of all these different worlds. This band, as much as I love them, one thing I will say though is that they kind of almost sound like they could have come from anywhere here. I just don't hear a lot of French character. Not that it's a bad thing. I mean, good music is good music no matter where. As a matter of fact, that could be said about quite a lot of jazz rock from Europe. Like some of the jazz rock, some of it like has quite a national character, but then sometimes you have bands like Passport who portions of their catalog sounds like it could have been just as easily been made by an American jazz rock act or something. You know. I guess jazz rock was just one of those more global type of styles because since there was no language barrier to it because there was no lyrics most of the time. Musicians from all around the world could relate to it, and that's why it was so widespread. So you can find a jazz rock band from just about any country from that period. It's just an endless well, yeah. For more rubies and sapphires from the catalog of Transit Express, see the directory of albums by French artists linked in the description below. Like and subscribe, follow me on social media, share the video, and leave a comment if there are any observations you have about the four-parter that we just heard, the interplay, the dazzling counterpoint, the intensity, the dynamics of it all. And until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most ear-traveled trail maximalist, signing off.